before you can still buy blue checks, but now anybody can buy a blue check mark on social media. How does that feel knowing that you worked for your blue check? Now just anybody can buy it.
Yeah, exactly how you put it. That's how I feel. Like, I think it's kind of whack. I feel like, you know, when I got my blue check, I remember that year I had put it in my journal of one of the goals I wanted to accomplish. And I had been applying for years and I was getting denied for years. And finally, I had been doing more interviews. I had been getting more press. I had been just more relevant in that year. And I got it. And I remember crying my eyes out, because I was so proud and it had taken so long.
Right.
The fact that people can buy it, for one, I mean, it cheapens the value of it, because it's like, who's to say mine is real or fake?
Impact. 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 In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. In fact, my hustle is intact. My muscle tough as the hustle, the numbers is just that. And I'ma keep winning and sit back. I love the feeling of killing them with that. Attacking the process, tackling topics, master synopsis. This the residual impact, yeah.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your man, Brandon Gio.
And your man, JaMichael Moore. And we are the Residual Impact Podcast.
Here we inspire others to find the greatness within themselves.
And then apply to the community.
Let's grow.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Back for another one, my friend.
Thank God we here.
Yo, most definitely. We getting up there, man. About to be 60 episodes in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about age, because I was about to say, look, I age like wine, baby. So I'm fine all the time. We're not trying to rhyme. No. It's a great day. That's all I can tell you. When they coming off the top like that.
Stop the cap.
Listen, we ain't got time for all of that. We're here for another episode, a beautiful episode, because it is not only a beautiful day, man. It was hot outside today, bro.
Yes,
Lord.
And hold on, you heard a voice?
I think I heard a little something.
A little something.
I don't know.
Who might that be?
I don't know, bro. Who we got over today?
I don't know, man. I thought it was going to be a surprise guest, but I think she ready.
Think so?
I think she ready, man. Listen, for the people out there, for you wonderful people who have been tapped in for the longest while, and even some of you newcomers who are new to the show, we have a very special guest in the building, back again like she never left. Literally, about 30 episodes ago, she was here with us, chatting it up. A year ago plus.
Wow.
And she's back for another one. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Autumn Jeannette.
Yes, sir.
Hi,
Welcome back, Autumn.
happy to be here.
Happy to have you here.
For those of y'all that don't know, Autumn made me feel very special. At least she said it's an honor to be back here. I was
Yes,
just like,
it is.
That's a fact.
that
Y'all
right
like,
there.
"Ooh."
That hit me right there, man.
Hey, lets you know that we're doing something. If nothing else lets us know that we're doing something,
Come on now.
that definitely let us know that we are doing something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
Y'all are. I'm very proud of y'all, not to cut y'all off, but these two right here, they work extremely hard. I see them every single day on Instagram promoting, being consistent. Their podcast is incredible. If you don't watch it, I mean, you should be watching it consistently, but they're just amazing. They inspire me, and I want to give them their flowers. So
Thank you very much. Hey, talk that talk.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm with it. Whatever she said, listen, okay? Listen, please, because we are honored to have you
Yeah.
thank you.
back.
Facts.
Like that is major. And it's crazy because, you know, when I reached out to you that day, like you popped in my head and I was like, you know what? It's been too long. I know I wanted to have you back on the show, but I was like, I don't know, you know, when's the right time? Hey, the right time is now.
Yes.
So
talk.
welcome back, Autumn, for real.
talk.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. How's everything been?
Everything has been very good. There's been a lot going on in my life, a lot of changes. Just life has been a lot recently, but it's been overwhelming in a good way.
Okay.
Now we talking about good changes or bad changes?
Good changes, exciting changes, but heavy changes.
Heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I've been living with my parents for the past 2.5 years after college, saving money. And so my dad is moving in with his girlfriend, which means I gotta go. So I'm really excited about it. I'm apartment hunting, car shopping. I'm doing all the things, furniture shopping. So it's fun, but it's very overwhelming, and it's like a lot trying to figure out how to move and everything. Like, it's a lot. So
I dig that, yeah. I could only imagine, man.
I bet. But I know the feeling of when it all comes together, it's going to be like rewarding, and it's nothing like your own space. So I already know.
Yes, I can't wait. And also, like, I went from having my own place to moving back home. Then now I'll be having my own place again. And I feel like when I left having my own space, I kind of reverted back into being a kid. You know, like I kind of started being dependent again instead of independent. So I'm excited to get my independence and not be so reliant on my parents and trust myself a little bit more. Yeah. Because I feel like I kind of like started deferring to them, you know?
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. And you don't even realize you're doing it. It's just like when you at home with mom and dad, like, I mean, it don't matter. Like my parents don't even live here, but if I go to their crib, I'm chilling, like, I'm waiting, yo, what y'all cooking? Like, what we about to eat for dinner? Like, I'm waiting in a room type, so I can definitely feel that and understand that.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, before we kick off the show, we already know we got to go over some housekeeping rules. So with that being said, Mike, what are the housekeeping rules for the show, please?
So first and foremost, if you haven't already, please take the time just to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button if you like this video. Also, if you don't like it, just hit the dislike button. Be loves when I say it.
Stop the cap.
That's why I say it all
I
the
really
time.
don't love it.
Right?
So hit the like button and only the like button, please, and thank you. Hey, if you disagree with anything that we do on the podcast, feel free to leave a comment down below, but the like button goes a long way. It really helps push us through the algorithm. The dislike button doesn't do that. So hit the like button and only the like button. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mike.
Also, if you haven't already, please check us out on the many podcast platforms that we're on. And please leave us a 5-star review and a comment down there so we know why we got 5 stars.
Love it.
But you can also leave 1 star too if you don't mind. I mean, I don't care. That lets me know if we're doing something wrong.
I care.
Or
so
what we need to do right.
Let's at least keep it to a minimum of 3. 3 stars. Minimum of 3. Can we agree on that?
You can leave 2 if you want to. I'm not. Look, listen, I'm about being real. Okay, I understand. Sometimes we might suck. Okay, look, I understand. I'm not perfect all the time. So just let me know if I'm doing something wrong. But lastly, other than that, just be great. That's all I just want. Just go be great and realize that you're amazing. And if you got breath in your body, dude, realize that it's something left for you to do. Don't ever think that. I know life can be very habitual, very mundane, very just day to day it can look the same. But realize, yo, when you woke up, when you have breath, there is something amazing that is still left for you to do. So smile today. Today ain't got to be bad. Just because if some stuff doesn't happen don't mean it got to be a bad day. No, today is still a great day. And you are in control more than you think. So just start to realize how much power you have over your day and start to speak over it. And that's all I wanted to share with the people. I don't even know where that came from.
Hey, but it was necessary. You know what I'm saying? I was about to take control of the mic back until you actually said something. Great.
I told you I get inspired, so I gotta let it out sometimes. I'm sorry.
And that's quite all right, man. I love that about you. You know what I'm saying? Just leave all the dislikes and the 1-star ratings alone. All right. I'm gonna take back control of the housekeeping from now on. But I'm glad that you said everything else that you had to say. That was beautiful.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
No doubt. Before we get into the rest of the show, because last time, as you guys may have seen, we had Autumn in the hot seat.
Ooh.
This time she is back in the hot seat, and we have some questions for her that, as she puts it, are pretty spicy. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But before we do that, real quick, I do want to ask, of course, we always got to ask how everybody's week was. Autumn, let's start with you. I know you touched on it a little bit. That's pretty much what's been going on in your life lately, but specifically, how has this previous week been for you?
Yeah, this week has been, it wasn't negative, but I haven't been feeling my best. I've been like, I don't know if y'all have seen on my Instagram, but I've been very consistent in the gym.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And this week I've been going to the gym. I haven't had a good workout because I'm just exhausted from work. Work has been like crazy these past couple of weeks, and I feel like I'm burning out. And so I feel like I've been going to the gym and it's been wasted energy. Like I didn't get a good workout. I'm tired as hell. Like, I don't know. So I'm kind of in a rest and recovery phase this week. What about y'all?
That's very much needed though. Like you can't always be on go. Yeah. Sometimes you do have to sit down because life will tell you to sit down or force you to sit down if you don't do it voluntarily. Yeah.
I feel you on that. Like as far as the gym thing goes, as far as how it's working a lot, how it just, you feel off or you feel like, man, you feel like almost your workout's been wasted. I'm the type of person where if I go like 2 to 3 days without working out, I definitely like am in like, it takes me a while to get back into working out. So when I might do something, but I might just do something for like 5 minutes just to say I did it. But it's to like, you lose that momentum. And I can definitely understand that. So definitely take the time out for yourself first. And then I think you'll be able to, everything else will follow.
Yeah, I definitely need a nap or two.
I feel you. Look, know me, I love naps. How long, let me ask you this. How long is a nap?
Don't ask me because I'm really bad at it. I like don't believe in napping. I should do it more often, but I'm kind of like a power through the whole day, drink your coffee type of girl. And then when I take a nap, I always set a timer for like 10 minutes. And then I wake up and I'm like, I need 10 more. Yeah. I need 10 more. I need 10 more. And then it'll be 2 hours of alarms every 10 minutes. And I think I should have just set a 2-hour alarm. Yeah. So I'm not the best person to ask. I don't know. Probably an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's understandable. It's no right answer for it. I just want to know because B doesn't really. He's not a promoter of the naps. So.
Nah, I don't really care too much for naps. We've had this conversation before, but like Young Jeezy said, I can sleep when I die. I'm the type of person that's always on go because why not? Like I have stuff to do, and I just got to get it done. I know Autumn just a little while ago you were talking about how consistent we are. And not to blow up anybody's spot because that's not what I'm meaning to do by any means at all. But, that's mostly due in part to who, Mike?
Jesus Christ, who gave us
life. Of course, but other than Jesus?
Our mothers, because without her,
after our parents?
We want to give our dads thanks too because
I said parents, but after the parents?
Then we want to disrespect all of our mentors who poured into us.
Most of the work has been very consistent because of me. And, it's just... It's honesty. You know what I'm saying? Mike, I know you're a hardworking man.
I am.
You do whatever it is that you need to do.
I do a lot.
Kudos to you for real because you have a lot on your plate.
I need to put some stuff down.
And you do.
Agree.
But hey, it's okay. We're going to get there when we get there. Yes, but the consistency has been up there because of yours truly, ladies and gentlemen. So,
facts.
Yeah, definitely. That's the type of person I am when it comes to napping. When I want to nap, I need to power through this. There's some clips that I can edit. There's some YouTube videos that I can edit. Something like we got to get ourselves out there. And when we get to the point to where we can nap, like when we get chauffeurs, I don't even know if I really want a chauffeur to be honest.
When you get an editor,
yes,
that
Lord.
too. That's next. That's coming.
Lord. Yes.
When we get an editor, yes.
And just a team. And just a team in general. Like I think that's when things are just gonna really expand when we get a team because we're gonna get to a point where we can't do it all. Like, it's just gonna be more things that just require us, and that's what I'm learning. So we'll see. What we got on the? Well, hold on. Did I ask you how was your week?
And I didn't ask you. No.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I apologize. How was your week, man?
The week was actually pretty fun. Very busy. This was a time where I actually needed a nap, but didn't take one because, like I said, I'm always on go mode.
Dang, you missed out. Sorry.
Keep going. But last weekend was definitely a weekend of support for some people around me. Like I've been telling you, I've been going to Clayco pretty frequently. You know what I'm saying? Got to move that work.
This guy. We do not condone the selling of anything illegal. I didn't
say I was selling anything illegal. All I said was moving work. That could be anything.
I just want to clear up that gray area that could have probably been filled with that statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do not promote anything with illegal substances. Thank you.
All I said was move work. That can mean a plethora of things. Not necessarily what he was talking about. You never know. But hey, like, nah, for real, I wasn't doing anything of that sort. I actually had to go help a friend out with graduating, help, push through dental school, you know what I'm saying? So I had to help with that. Mike, I've told you before we cut the cameras on several times who it was. So for those of you nosy people out there, y'all will never know who it is. Let's keep it that way. And the day that I did that to help a friend, graduate, I went to support another friend of mine who had a performance that night. Flew into Atlanta from Colorado. I didn't even know he moved.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So we went to college together, and we've been heavily involved in music since then. I mean, he's been involved in it way more than I have been, obviously, because I don't spit anymore. But I saw his parents there, and of course, I've been in his house several times, and I've almost sold his parents a car when I used to sell cars. And I was talking to his parents, and he came out of nowhere. Was like, "Mom, you remember him? We talked about how we used to skip class and go to the studio at school." I did not endorse any of that. I always went to class. Shout out to everybody at Georgia State. I never once skipped a class ever. So don't put that on me. But eventually, you know,
remember that one time we was hanging out with them girls?
No,
you remember you invited you showed me?
No,
it was
I
four
don't
of them.
remember. I don't remember because actually, when you were on campus with me, I had a girlfriend, and you know that.
Oh, okay.
And she was actually there.
Okay,
so we never did.
Time.
That was that.
This was okay.
Yeah,
the time before the other time. My bad.
No,
keep going, brother.
I am a faithful boyfriend whenever I am a boyfriend. I'm single right now, but that's besides the point. But check this out. Back to what I was saying. I had to go help a friend out, right? Mm-hmm. A huge amount of people came to support him in his performance, which was beautiful. I support anybody who's doing their thing when it comes to being creative, whether it comes to like music, podcasting, art shows, whatever the case may be. You know, his parents were there, so many friends, aunts, uncles, whatever. Like, I felt bad for anybody who came after him because once he got off the stage, everybody who came to support him just like left, and that was like half the room. So anybody else who was performing afterwards was like, okay, well, if you got your 2 or 3 people or more, then, you know, kudos to you, but the room is cleared out by now, so sorry. Sheesh. Yeah.
That's the price you got to pay, though, to be an artist. I mean, I think that's the part of the growth.
I believe it, and we can definitely get into that a little bit more later, especially because we have artists with us today.
We do.
But enough about my weekend, man. Like, it's been great, support, helping people, so on and so forth, yada, yada. How was your week, man?
This is the first time my week was just work. I honestly didn't do anything.
You stole my answer.
I really didn't do anything but work this week. I realized that I need to maybe write stuff down more. Mm-hmm. The power of like just actually structuring out stuff, your day and things you got to do. And
Talk about it.
You don't realize it, but your mind, it somehow stays on your mind and you'll cross those things out inadvertently, not even really thinking about it. So I'm just getting better with writing stuff down and taking control of my life. And also something that Autumn said, just also living my truth and just being honest about everything and not really hiding who I am. So that's it. This week was pretty dry for me.
Understood. But you give me a lot of flack when my weeks are pretty dry.
Well, I mean, brother, that's just for me to keep you on your toes. That's part of my job. You don't even realize, but that's part of my life.
All right. We're going to get into the episode because we ain't got time for this.
He said, keep this brother on his toes. That's all cool.
You know what I'm saying? That's all right. It is what it is. I appreciate that.
What we got, though, man?
We got not you, okay? So shout out to our guest of honor today, Autumn. Today is about you.
Yes.
Listen, I know we've already talked about the week. We talked about how you've been, but I definitely want to get into the music. Mm-hmm. How has music been going for you? Because let me tell you, I've been listening to some of your songs recently, and I noticed, of course, a few months ago you dropped Skin to Skin, and I remember you were promoting that heavy. And to be honest, I'm not gonna front. Like when you was putting it out there initially, especially for the visuals for the video, I thought you were launching like a lingerie or a swimsuit line.
A lot of people did.
And I was like, yo, Skin to Skin, yeah, that sounds kind of dope for a line.
Facts.
And of course, like
nobody trademark it.
You better beat them to it before this episode comes out.
Please.
Because I was like, okay, Autumn's putting out a fashion line. That's dope.
Yeah.
And then I heard the music after I saw the video. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it was. But pretty nice song. Very.
Thank you.
No doubt, man. Very It's definitely a chill song, you know what I'm saying, that I can definitely vibe to. So how'd you come up with that, and how was it recording that song and shooting the visuals for it?
Yeah, so how did I come up with that? So I don't want to tell you the wrong answer, but I have a couple of different ways that I write music. I guess it's like 3 different ways, but one is I have a long list of potential song titles that I think sound cool already. And then I just look at the list whenever I hear a beat that I like, and then I'll choose one and write based off of that title.
Okay.
I think that's what I did. Not sure. Either that or I called one of my friends and was like, give me a random title or give me a topic, and then I wrote a song. So I don't know. I just kind of like have fun with it, but it was one of the two. I think it was in my notes and I just wrote a song around it. But I heard that beat, and one thing that I'm really trying to get more into is R&B soul. And I feel like you said, like it's not super soulful, but it was more on the R&B side of things. And a lot of people will send me stuff that to me is more hip hoppy or more poppy. And I don't really get the chance to just be completely in my feminine energy as an artist.
Right.
And I felt like it was chill, it was sexy. I was able to write something more feminine, which I really enjoy doing. I don't like always having to talk my shit. Like I'll do it, you know, but I like to just be soft sometimes. So that was a really easy way like of making a song. I'm not gonna lie, I just naturally write songs in like 5 minutes. I've never been the type of person to just sit there and think about it too long. So like I probably freestyled in the booth. That's just kind of how I do it. And the video, which is interesting, is I kind of was angry because I feel like I've spent so much money, especially on videographers and stuff in the past. And, you know, when you do that, you got to wait on people. You got to wait for the edits. You got to wait to even see the footage, then the color grade. And then sometimes it takes forever. And I was like, damn it, I went to film school. I know how to do this myself. I'm going to shoot my own video. So I was like, you know, I'm going on a girls trip. I'm just going to shoot my own video there. So I bought a lens, and I already had a camera. It's like a really regular camera, but I was like, let me get a nice lens. And I literally shot it myself. I just had my tripod, set up the different shots I wanted, and just had fun with it. And I think I was inspired by Kaylani because she has a video. I don't know what song it is, but it's very homemade. It's homemade, and she released it during COVID, and it was a video she shot because it was COVID and nobody could shoot for her. And I thought it was dope, and it just kind of empowered me to do my own thing, edit it myself. So, you know, it's a cool, I call it a visualizer. Just because I did it myself, it's not super professional, but I still love it. I think it looks good.
You honestly, if you never told me that, I wouldn't have known even that, and how you did the promo for it. Like, you would have never known that you did it just on your own. You would think that you hired somebody and then they edited and all that stuff for you. So,
well, thank you.
That's what I thought too.
Goal.
Yeah, that was nice. You were good at what you do.
Facts.
So, quick question. I know you was talking about popping your shit, right? So I know you put this song out years ago, but it's actually one of my favorite songs that you've ever done.
Oh, I'm curious.
LSF.
Ah, yes, I love LSF.
Was that you popping your shit?
Well, it was a couple things. Bad Decisions. That whole project was kind of about a relationship and or a person who I still really had liked at that time. And I called it Bad Decisions because with that person, I personally made a series of bad decisions just mentally. I don't think I actually took action on anything, but I just felt like mentally my mindset was just not correct, right? And particularly with LSF, that was something where in college, that was kind of like a point of pride for me, was like, sorry, Mom, I don't know how to say it. I guess like being good in bed, right? That was something where I felt good about myself. But the older I get, the more I'm like, that's not where my value lies. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But in college, you know, I was young. I was thinking that that's what made you valuable to men. And I'm not saying that in a way of like, I was just out here in the streets. Like, I was in love with one person.
Of course.
But all that being said, that was one of the things that I thought made me valuable. So that's kind of what LSF was about. So I was talking my shit, but it's kind of like a bad way to think. It's like, that's only enticing temporarily.
Of course.
That's not going to keep someone around.
Not at all.
So yeah, that's why it's on that project.
But it's still, I love that song. And it's crazy that you mentioned that, because I'm not even that type of person who's constantly thinking about doing, you know, bedroom activities. But like when I heard that, I was like, yo, this is a different side of Autumn that I've never like seen or like heard of before. But it was like, yo, like it's a really dope track. And I even looked at your YouTube channel and, you know, how you made the EP. So I'm like, okay, I see where this is, you know, kind of coming from. I didn't know the story behind it, which I'm glad that you shared it. But wow. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
Thank you. Yeah, I do love that song. That's my favorite project, period, that I've ever put out. Because fun fact, all my music that's out, it's all old. Like all the music everyone's hearing is years and years old. So that was the first one where I felt like it was current because I made it in literally a week. My friend DJ Noble came down to Atlanta. Well, really, he sent me beats immediately. I was at the studio, so I sent him references, and then he was like, I'm booking a flight. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm booking photo shoots. Let's do it. And so we both immediately just were like, these are kind of hot. Let's make this project happen. And he flew down that week. We made the project. And then we were like, let's put it out. So it was the first time I had current music be released. And Skin to Skin, I guess, is more current, but it's still old. But I have so much new music that I want to put out, but it just hasn't been the time.
That's understandable.
I really want to do a proper rollout. So that's kind of been what's holding me back. But yeah, that has a special place in my heart for sure.
Did you get the response from Skin to Skin that you were expecting, or was it better? Or
I wasn't expecting anything. To be honest, I didn't get as much of a response as I had imagined, just because my previous projects, especially on Spotify, have performed really, really well. Like the numbers were kind of crazy. But I think, you know, I lost a little bit of momentum from taking the break that I did because, you know, I just was kind of, like I said, angry, fed up, all this stuff with music, just because I felt like I was doing everything myself. I was paying all this money and I had put so much into it and I wasn't seeing what I thought was success. So it frustrated me and I was like, this isn't even fun anymore for me, and I needed a break. I needed to recenter. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. Like, I still kind of feel like I'm not fully ready to dive back into it 100%.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
That makes me think, like, just, like you said, the momentum thing is just so important. It's like, I'm pretty sure the time that you took away was probably needed for you in order to get your mind back right in some way, shape, or fashion. But at the same time, too, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, like, basically, what if you would have kept going with it? What would you would have been? Like, do you think it's better that you did that? Do you think that it's not better? Like, basically, like, I'm trying to word the question. I'm wording it terribly, but.
No, you're wording it right. I think it was better because just in my goal, like I said earlier, before we started recording, was I'm trying to be authentic and real with people and let people get to know me a little bit more.
Right.
And for me, I'm not the person who is verified and has a blue check on their Instagram who's going to sit here and pretend like they're balling. Like, I live a very normal life, right? So when you're not able to depend on your parents financially and you have to fund it yourself, you're like, oh shit, this is expensive.
Yeah.
a video like the Love Me More video, which I paid for, was $3,500 for one video. And that's not even including promo. It's very expensive to be an artist. When you are underground, like, you have no help. I mean, everybody makes money off of an artist. The artist makes nothing until they get bigger. And I am at the point where I'm not, I guess, quote unquote, big enough to have people start pouring into me or pouring into my budget. I'm the person who is funding everything. So whether it's just my look, like the outfits, the hair, the nails, the everything that comes with just being a woman, whether it's the studio time, I literally had to take a second and like pause so I could build a home studio to save money on studio time, which cost me another $3,000.
Jeez.
To build my home studio. And you know, I because I have that now, I'm able to be more creative, more spontaneously, and like learn how to engineer and all this type of stuff, which is really cool. But you know, sometimes you do have to take a step back so you can invest in your future the way you want to. And if I had continued, I would have been doing small little splashes of, like, you know, putting myself out there. But my vision for the next full project that I put out is I want to have a full rollout. Like, I want to drop 3 singles. I want to do a whole bunch of videos, and I got to save to do that. Like, just for anybody who wants to be an artist, it's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be easy. It might happen overnight. Some people are lucky like that. But, you know, for most people, majority of people, it takes years. I've been doing this since I was 13. And I will get 100,000 plays on Spotify for a song. But that's not enough for a label. They want something to be viral. That means millions. So even though that's a huge accomplishment, you know, you still have work to do. So it's just one of those things where the rewards come a lot later.
I love that you broke that down. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
For real, because I definitely didn't know, you know, anything about that.
In 100,000 plays, man, I'm balling. What you mean? I done made it. Shoot, y'all better come sign me.
I threw a party and all of that, but yo, like,
that's not enough.
Yeah,
it's not.
I feel that though. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, that's definitely some stuff that I did not know. And, you know, this is coming from somebody who thought that he was going to have a career in music like years ago. And just to have somebody, you know, in our presence who knows way more about that and can not only teach us, but to teach our listeners, our followers, those who might actually be looking into, you know, pursuing a career in music, that's big.
Yeah.
And you definitely brought up something that I thought about asking you, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me, but it may be a big deal to other people out there. You mentioned, you know, verification on social media. How do you feel now that people can buy blue checks? Like, not just anybody. I mean, before you can still buy blue checks, but now anybody can buy a blue check mark on social media. How does that feel, knowing that you worked for your blue check? Now just anybody can buy it.
Yeah, exactly how you put it. That's how I feel. Like, I think it's kind of whack. I feel like, you know, when I got my blue check, I remember that year I had put it in my journal of one of the goals I wanted to accomplish. And I had been applying for years and I was getting denied for years. And finally, I had been doing more interviews. I had been getting more press. I had been just more relevant in that year, and I got it. And I remember crying my eyes out, because I was so proud and it had taken so long.
Right.
The fact that people can buy it, for one, I mean, it cheapens the value of it, because it's like, who's to say mine is real or fake? You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no differentiator. Yeah. And then also, I mean, like, this is not important, but just like sometimes when people reach out to me, that was a way of me kind of gauging, is this a legit offer or is this a scam? So like, if someone who had a blue check would reach out to me, I'd kind of look at those DMs first, like, okay, like, this opportunity seems legit. Now I look at it and it's Joe Blow from down the street,
Had
and
$15 in his pocket.
I'm like, it kind of takes away that layer of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's some people who probably have a business that they want to be known as like the only business with that name. So I get there's, not everyone has bad intentions, but most people I've seen are just regular people. No shade or anything, but just regular everyday people who really don't need a blue check,
Understood.
Yeah.
I've actually been thinking about buying the blue check for us, like for the podcast, but it's like, I really just want to work for it, like work till we get to a certain point to where people are starting to create fake pages of us, like Residual Impact 1 or 7 or whatever the case may be. And it's like, you know what? I think it's time. I'll buy it at that point. But, I think we're legit.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
And you don't always need, like, I was legit before I had a blue check.
Of course.
Talk that talk.
But it was just like a stamp of like, wow, like,
Yeah.
okay, people are recognizing me. And I think for business purposes, it can make sense. Like I said, y'all have a podcast, y'all are Residual Impact. That makes sense to me. But just, random individual pages who it's like, this doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
True.
I think it's a money grab.
That's all it is. That's all it is. But people do it. I mean, look at it.
Yeah.
Look how many blue checks you see now. For me now, it's just not as impressive as it used to be. Or it has me question, like, who are y'all? Like, I don't know.
But to some people, I think it from a psychological standpoint, they'll see a blue check and it still will go off in their mind, even though some people can buy blue checks now. Like average people can buy blue checks, but they'll get somebody off of a blue check alone and just like, you know what? Wow, that means something. Like
Of course.
It's always meant something. And even though more people can get it, how like we talked about it before, when DVD players first came out, they were wild expensive. When flat screens came out, they were stupid expensive. And then more people started getting that stuff, and then it just lowered the value, and then it became cheap.
Yep.
Now you can buy a flat screen for
$200.
right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same as it once was, but
Yeah.
people, I don't know, until they come out with something else, like maybe like different color check marks. It's like, okay, well, instead of blue check, maybe they'll do gold.
Oh, look, don't give them no ideas, bro. They already coming up with something. I'm telling you, it's going to be something else because they got to keep the money train going too. So it's like next is going to be, you're going to have 2 checks. When you got 2 checks, that's how you know you official. I don't know. It's going to be something. I'm telling you.
Something.
Yo, I wanted to ask you something though. You made me think about something. You said when he was talking about your old song, and you was saying like you had like a old mindset of basically like you felt that, basically how good you were in bed would determine your value almost. So my thought is this, you being a woman, and women are very beautiful. Like women are just naturally beautiful. And one thing you notice online is a lot of women, they show off their body. And rightfully so, you got it. I think that a lot of women may have that same mindset that you used to have, but one of the things that you realize, you said that's not real value, but a lot of women lead with their body. So how do you, I don't know, like how do you, as a woman, navigate through that or teach other people that that's not the only value that they have to give, but yet that's all you see nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, it is all we see nowadays. It's all music talks about. We have a lot of women in entertainment talking about sex in every single song.
Yeah.
Boy, just like when we before we cut the cameras on, started rolling, we were talking about one specific artist, and you was like, "Why is her boob out?" On Instagram.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, I listen to that music. I think it's fun. It gets me turned up,
Right.
But I'm also really good at separating, lyrics from reality.
Love
and
that.
I think that comes with age. It comes with growth. It comes with not being so easily influenced and having morals and values and good leadership and guidance.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to have to go through their own journeys. And like, I know we were talking about friends and stuff before, but I feel like I was telling them that a lot of times I feel like I'm very awake. I'm very aware, and a lot of people around me are not. So I'm always like the teacher or the person trying to get people to open their eyes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to learn, people got to go through their own stuff and, learn their own lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. Like, I can't shame people for that. I know for me, I want to be the type of woman who is respected. And I know that when you flaunt your sexuality so much, it doesn't matter if it's your job. Like, it literally makes people like or have a lower amount of respect for you. So like people like Saweetie or even Nicki Minaj. I think Nicki Minaj is a great example because to me, she's an icon, one of the most impactful, influential artists of our generation. Mm-hmm. And to me, she's up there with Beyonce and Rihanna. They're like the holy trinity to me. But Beyonce and Rihanna are way more respected. Why? Because they don't have to do what female rappers have to do, which is twerk, be overtly sexual. And I feel like part of that is why people feel like they can just talk crazy about Nicki.
That's a good point.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of artists even create beefs with Nicki. Nobody's doing that to Beyonce. You think anybody's about to talk bad about Beyonce?
Because they
or
know
Rihanna?
if they do, B's not going to respond. She doesn't respond.
Yeah. Rihanna used to.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to say, oh, I don't like Rihanna. And if they do, everyone's going to pay them dust. But like, I think for Nicki Minaj, the fact that she is a female rapper and has to show herself in a certain light, people take that and they don't really respect it.
I think the people are what makes it, take it to where it shouldn't have to be, basically. I think the people make it more.
The stands. I love stan culture, but I do think that, getting wrapped up in the beefs can be a lot when it stops being playful.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if y'all saw the show Swarm. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, I've never watched it.
That.
Yeah, it's on Prime Video, I think, but I've never seen it. I know of the show. It's down on Glover.
Yeah.
Childish Gambino, which I really, bro, if you're listening to this, which I highly doubt it, I need you to get back to the music. Like the executive producing and you acting, that's all hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Loved ATL. I don't know why the show ended after 4 seasons, but I need you to be Childish Gambino again. We miss your music. We need you back on the mic. That's all I had to say with that. But continue.
Yeah, well, it was a show about, I guess, Beyonce. They were trying not to say her name, but it's about her. And a theoretical, crazed fan who, if anybody said anything bad about her, would kill them. And so she was a serial killer who would hunt down the people who talk badly about this celebrity. Mm-hmm. And it's obviously an exaggeration, but there are people who genuinely exhibit traits like that, like, oh, this person don't like you, well, I don't like you. And it's like, you don't know them. Yeah. And do y'all even do that for your friends?
They probably don't.
Like, I feel like that's the only thing about stan culture I don't really appreciate.
Yeah.
You can have your faves, but why are y'all genuinely hating these, like spending every second of the day hating these people?
This is one of the things I noticed. Like, you have the consumer and then you have the producer. I think each one of us, we understand, like, we can be on the producer side. Like, we create the content. But then you have people that literally, they just consume. That's all they do is they consume. They wait for us to create something. And then that is their life. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, it's just, they don't see as much value in themselves that they can put out something for the world. So they just like, let me take on this. And then they find that obsession clearly with people.
Yeah, people go hard for whoever it is that they support out here, especially the Beehive. So I can see why Swarm is called Swarm.
I want to watch that now. I ain't gonna lie, you made that sound good. Like,
weird.
That sound like a thriller, bro.
I finished it in like a day, but yeah, it's really weird, really eerie, but very good.
I mean, I can see that happening though. Like, you see how hard people go for Beyonce?
Oh,
like,
man.
These people crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. You going to the concert?
I am.
Come on now. Look at you know what I'm saying?
I am.
I figured because it was a little quiet when we talked about Beyonce tickets earlier.
I have great seats.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I can see why. I mean, if you can fall in love with who that person is and, really inspired to be like that person. I think the problem is when these fans want to be that, they want to be them. They don't, instead of like just taking some characteristics about the people they like, they want to be them. That's the problem.
That's deep.
So, I mean, it's just the value that I don't think we know our value, or we put it so much into social media, or like you say, the blue checks and stuff like that. We don't really know our true value. So then therefore we'll try to find value in anything else. I think
that's the key right there.
Yeah, man.
Yo, like you really made me think about something, especially involving these stands. Like, we try our hardest to watch what we say about people's favorite artists, because last thing we need is people coming for us.
Me too, but I'm over that. Like, I'm gonna just say how I feel.
Beyonce sucks.
Okay, let's not do that.
His views do not represent Residual Impact Podcast as a whole.
Or Autumn
Ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta make it home tonight, so let me stop.
I have nothing but love for her and Jay. Okay, Blue Ivy, the twins. I have nothing but love for all of them. Even Solange. Mike is on another level.
She doesn't suck, of course. I'm not a huge fan of her though, like everybody else.
No, I'm not a huge fan of her
Beyonce?
either.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a guy. I could see that.
It's not that. I mean, I think she's extremely talented. I love a lot of her old music. It's just not my preference, more so.
Yeah, like again, you're a guy. I feel like you're not gonna wake up and say, "Oh, let me put some Beyonce on."
Right.
You know.
I love what she has become though. Like,
oh yeah, she's an icon.
The heights that she's made it to, bro.
Mm-hmm.
She's larger than life.
No, seriously.
It's kind of crazy.
She doesn't live a normal life by any means.
Not at all.
I know. I wonder, does she have like a secret service?
I believe
I'm sure she does.
I believe they move very militant. I mean,
Jay probably doesn't necessarily need as much protection as B, but I mean, I'm sure he walks around with security, but probably not as much as Beyonce does, because he definitely doesn't have a swarm of fans like, B does. So
that would hurt.
Yeah, that would really like hurt for her, or worse.
I mean, that made me think of Selena. You remember the lady that killed Selena? It was a
That's
fan.
so sad.
So you got people that'll kill for you, but they might kill you too. Are you afraid of that? Are you afraid of somebody falling so in love with you from afar that they might hurt people?
Yeah, I'm afraid of a lot of people. Yeah. I'm into true crime and stuff, so it kind of scares me a little bit sometimes, because I feel like, let me knock on wood, because I don't want God to be showing me nothing. But I feel like I can see crazy in people's eyes.
Oh, interesting.
Like I get a really good sense of people. I'll meet people, I'm like, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
And also you can just kind of tell people's intentions with you, because to me, I don't really consider myself anybody like to be tripping over. But I've met a lot of people who act really, really weird when they find out what I do or who I am.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like an energy switch. It's a shift that happens, and it's very, very obvious. Even though they might not think they're doing anything, but you can just tell when people just start acting like maybe kinder to you. I remember I went to this hair salon. The whole time, the lady doing my hair was so rude to me. And I told her I had DM'd her something. I'm not going to get into the whole story because it's a long story, but I had DM'd her something. She checked her DMs and then saw my page, and then all of a sudden was so nice to me. And I had been having the worst experience in just the way she started changing, the way she treated me. And she even said, all the stuff I was saying about my clients, like, I was just joking. Like, I don't really talk about my clients' business. And I'm like, okay, girl.
She's trying. She's like, let me get back in this good. This girl's crazy right here.
Yeah, but like stuff like that, I want you to treat me how you're going to treat everybody else.
I feel you.
I don't like the energy shift.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. Be genuine in whoever you are.
Heavy on being genuine. I'm so about genuine people. That's why I love y'all.
Thank you.
And that's why we love you. Because, I mean, for those of y'all who don't know, I mean, we met last year at a podcast show. And it's crazy because Mike and I still kind of talk about it to this day, how we were just in the lobby, lost. And then we met somebody else who was also in the lobby, lost. And we were all lost together. And that somebody was Autumn. So it's it was just a great way to just meet somebody new. Like we all had a common goal was to get to this show, and we did it together. Now it's interesting when you meet like-minded people who are just genuine and kind. And even after we found out who she was, it's like there was no switch, you know, because
there wasn't.
Why do that? You know what I'm saying? So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, if y'all are tapped in for real, like y'all are listening, just know that there's no need to switch up. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be kind to people. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat people how you would want them to treat you. And of course, once you get to know them, treat them how they want to be treated.
Heck yeah.
That's an even a better lesson that I had to learn recently. Treat people how they want to be treated, and they'll show you or they'll tell you how they want to be treated.
Yes.
So.
And I need to add something on that just about y'all too.
What's up?
Another thing that I really respect about y'all is you guys, neither of them have ever tried to hit on me. And I know that's like out the blue, but just story time. Recently, I met these people who have a podcast, and they invited me on the podcast. And I have met them in person, worked with them on other projects. And one of the hosts has been in and out of my DMs, and I have not responded. I haven't responded. And I'm not going to go on the podcast anymore because it makes me feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, to me, if we're doing business, like, let's do business. I really appreciate how comfortable y'all have made me feel and, like, not objectified. I think that's the other thing is I feel like that particular individual is making me feel very, I don't know, just it's a weird feeling, and I just no longer want to work with them. So I just want to say, like, they're really good guys. They're gentlemen. They make me feel safe. I really love working with y'all.
Hey, thank you for
Well, we
that.
definitely appreciate that. You know, that definitely
That's love.
deserves, for real, that is love. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate just you being kind, you being genuine, you not like really being Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that we personally have come across many people who are verified, who are known in the music industry or acting or anything like that, who just like switched up on us and been Hollywood, but you just never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're on our way to the top.
Talk that talk.
Period.
To the top, you feel me? So anybody that we come across, I'm sure, I mean, it might happen one day. We may come across somebody who we thought was one way, and then all of a sudden they, you know, Hollywood, or they brand new, and it's bound to happen. I mean, it happens often with anything that, you know, us in our profession do.
Yeah.
But, you know, we definitely want to make sure that you're comfortable. You're a very beautiful woman.
Thank you.
But we would never just like want to make you feel uncomfortable. We would never want to just hit on you and just be like, okay, well, there's the friendship ruined. You know what I'm saying? If anything were to happen in a sense of, and this is something that I don't know what podcast that was, but gentlemen, if y'all are listening, this is one thing that you should have in mind, right? If it's meant to be, it's going to be. And if there's a mutual attraction,
it was not meant to be. He was like 60 or something.
Oh my God!
Oh no. That's too old for you?
Yes. But even if he was my age, I just think it's inappropriate.
Very.
Like, I don't know him like that.
Right.
like, let attractions happen naturally. You know what I'm saying? Let the vibe happen naturally.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to happen naturally, it is what it is. Like, you know, Autumn and I were talking before the camera started rolling about something, right? She knows what I'm talking about. You know, if we're meant to be, we're meant to be. Put it that way. And, you know, things will happen and unfold organically if it's supposed to be that way. If not, I ain't tripping. That's life.
Period.
It always amazes me when I be hearing like a lot of women talk about some of the things that guys say. I guess it's just because the way I was raised, so I wouldn't do some of these things, but it just it blows me away. So that's like a segue for my next question. Like, what is one of the craziest DMs that you've gotten?
I could play it for y'all.
You can play it?
Let's do it.
Oh,
Hey.
shoot.
It was like this video of this guy. I know him, actually. He dated one of my friends, actually. And I don't know. He like sent me a video of him just talking about him wanting to ask me on a date, but it was so funny.
Hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You're absolutely right.
He just wanted to shoot that shot real quick.
Hey, and you tell me that all the time because you know. Oof.
You never know.
And you know what? If she was available, I would have been shot my shot.
But you see, my thing is like sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but as a man, you should kind of know if a woman is feeling you.
Of course.
Sometimes you got to put yourself out there a little bit, but it should be some type of reciprocal energy that you may feel that's like, okay, I might just have a chance with her. But it's also right time for everything as well.
Why do people still send you stuff when you don't respond? Like, that's so weird to me.
That I don't know. I think it's a thirsty thing at that point.
Either that or I'll speak from my perspective. One of my main pet peeves, and I've never said this on the show before, I hate being left on scene. I hate being left on red.
We are no longer slandering men who unsend DMs. Y'all, like, this girl posted on her story that she wanted to go out on a walk with her dog, but she didn't want to go alone. So me, naturally wanting to make friends, I respond, let's go. Y'all, I've been on scene for 3 days. 3 days. Like, I'm actually humiliated.
I just hate it. Like, we're adults. Communicate. There have been plenty of times where I've wanted to reach out to other people for business. Like, hey, let's connect. Let's network together. Let's do this together. Scene. I was just talking to you recently. Somebody who left me on scene almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Recently hopped back in my DMs. And it's like,
hey, big head.
Right.
Ooh, man, we can get into that too.
Let's do it.
Okay, let me play y'all this.
Ah, shoot.
DM.
This about to be funny.
I see her being a big superstar. I just wanted to say, hey, I'd love to take you on a date one day. I want to, have a date with a superstar, you know what I'm saying? I got my shit for you, so, just get back to me and let me know so. And I'm still making the beats, so, we can really work. And, I know you still be doing the singing shit, and I still make beats, so, we can make money, like, have, like, relationship goals with this shit, making money together, you know what I'm saying? Get back at me for real. But, yeah.
I'm screaming.
It's an evil world we live in.
So that's what my DMs look like.
I love how he just tried to mix in the business. He was like, hey, I still got them beats though. We can do this music thing too.
Hey, listen.
Oh my gosh.
The saying, "Got to see it through, my boy."
Got to see it through, my boy.
You ain't have to see that through, my boy.
I hope he's a viewer.
Yo, if you're a viewer, man,
but he shot his shot though,
And there's nothing wrong with shooting a shot, but first things first, rule number one, right? Don't mix business with pleasure. Or a line that I like to say, more times than not. Excuse my French. I know your mother listens to this sometimes. I know my mother listens to this sometimes. We grown, right? You don't eat where you shit. Okay? Don't mix business with pleasure.
Danny sent the video with it too, though. Like, that's just...
It was bold.
That was very bold. Like, that was a thing right there. Hey, man, I'm not mad at it, though. That takes a lot of courage, okay? Rejection is all a part of growth. We've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
Wait, have you ever been rejected?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you handle that, though?
Probably not the best. I feel like for somebody like me, who I think very highly of myself. I think a lot of people who think highly of themselves handle rejection very poorly just because they have big egos. And I know my ego is bruised because it's like, you don't like me? And that's how I used to think. But now I just realized a lot of these people who rejected me weren't for me, and honestly would have been like, my life would not have been right.
Yeah.
Like none of those relationships are relationships that I crave right now. Like the energy wasn't right.
I like that.
Yeah. That's real talk.
That's growth.
Yeah, it is.
I know when I was younger, I dealt with it a lot worse, but now literally, like, I was dating someone recently. He stopped talking to me and I was like, thank God. I could have cared less. Really? I couldn't have cared less. Just because I feel like I don't care. Like, I'm so in my own world right now. I don't know. And also I'm kind of used to it. Like, I've been single my whole adult life. So I don't know. It just doesn't affect me.
I remember
anymore.
we talked about that last time. For the people, real quick, break that down to them. What do you mean you've been single for your whole life?
Yeah, so
excuse me, you're single for your whole adult life.
when I was growing up, I had boyfriends from 4th grade to senior year of high school. And since I went to college, dating was a lot different. It was just a lot harder. It was a lot of learning that happened. I went to Howard University, so anybody who goes there knows the ratio.
Shout out to Howard.
Yes.
We talked about HBCUs in a previous episode. I looked at Howard, but I didn't go. But we'll save that for another day.
Should have went.
Is it more men than women or women than men?
More women than men.
Oh man.
So the men, they are living their best life.
And I love that for them. Shout out
sure
to you,
you
brothers.
do. But all the guys, it's like so many options to choose from. The girls are in a scarcity mindset. So
And I love that for them. I mean, the guys. Shout out to the brothers out there.
Get your friend.
Wow.
Bruh.
So yeah, dating was really difficult in college just because I felt like guys who maybe they weren't the hottest guy in high school, now there's not that many cute guys to choose from, period. So they had a lot of people going after them at one time. So it's just, it was just easier for guys, harder for women. And then post-college, that's also been a learning experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you meet strangers, people you have no way of vetting. You don't know their circle.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, like, I know their friend and I know their friend wouldn't introduce me to somebody. Like, no, you literally meet a random stranger and you have to trust what they're saying. And
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, that's true.
have to go purely on faith
Yeah.
that they're being honest. It's just interesting. So I'm not in a rush. I'm just, when it happens, it happens.
Yeah. What do you think about like when you're in like the talking stage, right? Because you talked about how women a lot of times get the short end of the stick when it gets to the commitment part. But I know that both parties have this ability to, when you're in this talking point, you're not committed to anyone. Is it okay to talk to multiple people at one time? Or like, how does that work being a woman? Because I know that y'all are more in tune with your emotions. So sometimes that, you may be a little bit more emotionally attached to a guy. And
Yeah, I think that's natural. I mean, I think you're going to have your favorite. But I'm an advocate of dating multiple people until you're not supposed to. When y'all say we're exclusive, honor that. Cut those people off. Make that decision together.
Right.
But I do think like, dating is only so fun for a while. And after a certain amount of time, you're going to create a bond that's emotional, that's deep. So it gets to a point where it's like, if this isn't going to be a commitment, if we're not going to be able to move any further, I don't really want to do this. And then also, like with sex and everything, like for me, I'm more of the mindset of I don't want to do that until I'm in a commitment. So I know other people are like, first date, let's do it. But I just feel like for me, it's like going to be a point where it's like, okay, like, what are we doing here? Are we going to take this to the next level or are we not? So I do want a relationship. I wouldn't ask that to everybody. I feel like there's some people that I probably would just date for fun. But there are certain people where you just know, you see a future and you would like to explore that. So we'll see what happens.
Now, is it true? I heard when a woman likes a guy a little more, she'll kind of be a little bit more reserved with that guy versus a guy that she know it ain't going nowhere with. She might.
Depends on the woman. Depends on her mindset. Kind of going back to what we were talking about, like some women might be in that LSF mindset of, this is going to get him hooked.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I'm sorry. I know what LSF means. I don't know if Mike or the people listening know what LSF means. What is LSF?
Love, sex, the rest.
There you go. just wanted to put that out there so you guys can follow along with what she's saying.
Yeah. So some girls might think, this is going to be the thing that gets him hooked. Some girls genuinely just don't care. Like that doesn't really put any effect on the relationship for them, on who they are. And honestly, I have so much respect for girls like that. But for me, I do think I'm more the like a traditional mindset of like, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Like, why would someone commit to me if I'm just easily giving that part of myself away?
Right.
So I don't know. It just depends on the woman. I feel like for me, it doesn't matter if I like you or not. I just don't want to share that type of energy with someone. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm not someone who's like I feel like a lot of people are very addicted. I'm not that. Like, I can go a very, very long time and that doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. There's some people who can't go a week.
That's true.
You know, so like,
good point.
To me, it's not something that drives me. It doesn't control me, doesn't control my decisions. I have very good self-control. So I don't know. There's some girls who they fall victim to their primal instincts.
That's a good way to put it. Very scientifical. I like that though. I think that's real, actually.
And you know what? I'm glad that you put it that way, because that's a different perspective than what I'm used to. Because I've dealt with women who have recently, they've done stuff with other guys who they might have been in situationships with, or other guys that they were just hooking up with just because. And then it gets to me, you know what I'm saying? We want something serious. And it's like, oh, well, you got to wait till we're committed in order for us to do that. And it's like, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me he didn't have to put as much effort as I'm about to have to put in just so I can get what he already got for less effort? Like, that makes no sense to me.
And I get that, like, why you would feel that way.
I kind of mentally have a box, like guys that I would want to hook up with or guys that would make it past that point. And if it's a guy...
Wait, real quick question on that. So you have two boxes, right? You have just hookup box and relationship box. Mm-hmm. Do you make the relationship box guys, you make them wait?
Yeah.
And then the hookup guys right away.
And that's the crazy part is like those guys usually, like, if they're in the hookup box, it's because I don't see them in a way, like they're not good enough to be relationship wise. So like maybe I'll let them
hit it.
Yeah. But it's like the same for me. Like, I am also a fuckboy. I would want them to wait to see if we have a genuine connection before I do that, you know, just because like if it's serious to me, then it's going to be serious to me. But if it's not serious to me, then it's absolutely not. And I just view it as a hookup. The guys I'm hooking up with or continuing to like talk to don't know how I view things.
I can't speak on that because I don't do that.
Right.
I don't know.
And I'm glad, you know what I mean? Like, I know, honestly, like, I'm the type of brother who, at this point in my life, you know, I've been this way pretty much my whole life, except for when I was a teenager. I was a little wild. But when I got into my 20s, I slowed down to the point to where anytime, you know what I'm saying, I was getting it in with a woman, it was somebody who I was in a relationship with. Except for after a huge breakup I had when I was like 27.
I remember you told us.
I was wild. I went super wild, and I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. And then at the point, you know, I got to the point eventually to where I've been in a place of not allowing sex to control me. Mm-hmm. I've been very self-disciplined, and of course the podcast keeps me focused. Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about D-discipline here on the show. Yes, how we want a lot more of our brothers to practice D-discipline and not worry about going out there and just smashing anything that walks just because she will open her legs to you. Like, yeah, you have a purpose, you have goals in mind, you have stuff that you want to do, stuff that you need to do, and focusing on women for the most part can be a distraction.
A huge distraction. Dating in general is just a huge distraction, especially when it's the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like, the right person is just going to be not effortless. You have to put in work, but it's not going to take you away from your goals. And I feel like what I was going to say when you were saying that is a lot of these men are easy, like very, very easy. They have no boundaries. They have no standards. I hope that's not harsh, but they have like no criteria that anyone has to meet in order to just do anything with them. But then
I have a theory on why, but go ahead. We'll talk about that in a second.
But then they draw the line at spending money.
What you mean?
Like, there's guys who, like I said, are easy. They will do anything with anybody. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to take her on a date though. Like anybody, it could be an amazing woman, but they'll do anything with their body, their temple, but they draw the line there. And I feel like the priorities are backwards.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of men genuinely just don't care about building an empire or building a family unit, building something bigger than you can build with just an individual in life.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's kind of unfortunate. I hope that changes in the future.
I think a part of that stems from just, I know women, y'all are more, one thing I notice about women, like for some reason, y'all have this thing where y'all think so much far ahead. Us as men, like in general, when it comes to planning a trip, a woman will plan a trip in January that's for next year. While a man, we might plan it starting June towards the end. If it's at the end of the year, we might start planning in June, towards the end of the year. And it just, I think that's what a part of it comes from, is y'all are so able to think ahead, and things that I know we just don't pay attention to that are important. I think sometimes that y'all are able to see clearer, but also too, I think men, we're lost. A lot of us are.
I think also men are just a lot more present, and I don't mean in a mindful way, but they're just living in the moment. And I guess that goes to what you said. Like a lot of women are very ambitious and future driven, and like times have changed. You're not gonna grow up and your biggest accomplishment is getting a husband. Like you're gonna grow up and start a business or have, I don't know, whatever your dream is. You're gonna grow up and do something that you weren't gonna be doing 100 years ago as a woman. And men, I feel like a lot of men have their life predetermined, whether they're going to be a doctor or going to the NFL or the NBA, or they're just gonna go the corporate route. I feel like men know very young what their life is gonna look like, and they just want to have fun along the way.
I will say to that point, you're about right. As far as like the fun goes, it's a lot harder for men to get the draws. You know what I'm saying? Than it is for a woman to just be like, you know what? You want some? I'm gonna give it to you if you want it. Like how can we say no to that if that's something that we really want? We were talking about this again in the previous episode, how we're usually the type, or I know I used to be, I won't say so much now, but usually the type of brothers who, when we were younger, we would wait for a woman to make the first move, because you just never know. We never wanted to end up in a situation to where nowadays we can get Me Too'd. You know what I'm saying? Especially for stuff that happened in the past.
Yeah.
You know?
I heard this thing. Let me know if y'all agree with it. It said women control sex, men control the relationship.
That is true.
What you think?
I think men control the commitment, the initial commitment. I don't know if they control the relationship.
Well, yes, the commitment aspect of the relationship. Like, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, who you and I were discussing before we cut the cameras on. Let's say I was her type and we were to talk, and, we were like, you know what? We've been talking for a few months and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, she might be like, okay, well, what are we? You don't typically hear men asking that question, because you're right. We do control the commitment aspect. But at the same time, if she were to say to me, or if I were to say something to her along the lines of like, we've been talking for this long, you know what I'm saying? Can I hit that? However type of way. That was just the first thing that came to my mind. I wouldn't say it like
Please
that.
Don't say that.
I definitely wouldn't.
She's
but
gonna say never.
Right.
Oh, man. Send it a video.
I definitely wouldn't say it like that, but I'm just trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
If the conversation came up and was like, yo, we've been talking for this long, you know what I'm saying? I think it's about that time to do, and it's up to her to say yes or no, because y'all really do have the access to sex. You could literally walk out of this room right now. If there was a bunch of people outside right now, a bunch of men, you could just say, hey, you know what? I'm giving it out. Who wants it? You would have a huge group of men. And all honesty, you would have a huge group of men who would be down to do it. Either one of us were to try that same thing in a group of ladies.
Well, hold on now, brother. Look, I told you I age like wine, okay? I might
if
get
I
one.
were to go outside and do that in a group of ladies, All right. 9 times out of 10, I will guarantee you, I will not get the same amount of results that you would get.
But that's because
Neither would
men
he.
are easy.
Because we don't
Why is
get
that?
it. We don't get it as often as y'all could get
I don't
it.
believe that.
Well,
What do you mean?
Well, all men not. All men not.
It's a
Not
small
all.
percentage of men who actually can get it that easily.
There's a small percentage of men that I know who are picky with their women.
Yeah.
Everybody else, and I think it's because like they want something bigger than just that. But most men are cool with that, and that baffles me.
That's where us not really having the access to sex comes in. Because like I just said, I mean, you would have a high success rate if you went out into a group of men and just say, hey, I'm willing to I bet you at least 9 out of 10 men would say yes to you. Whereas if I said the same thing to a woman, maybe like 1 out of the 10 or 0 out of the 10, maybe Mike might have a small percentage higher, maybe 2 women out of 10.
I can get about 6.
Stop the cap.
6 out of 10. I'm shooting my sights.
Maybe
high, okay?
2 out of 10 might say yes to Mike. But that's still not 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a higher success rate at getting that because y'all control sex. And so to the men who are just like, okay, I've heard a lot of women say, oh, y'all just smash anything that walks. True, in a sense that, I will say in a sense that if she's willing to give it up and we're down too, we're not going to say no for the most part. Me personally, I would most likely say no because I'm on my purpose. I have something that I want to take seriously and I'm working towards something. And like I said before, women can be a distraction. Fellas, you know I've said this countless times. That's just me. There's a lot of brothers out there who also have that same mindset. But not every brother does. If somebody is throwing it their way and they find them the slightest bit attractive, I'm not gonna lie, the first person who I got with in that way, like sexually, she wasn't the most attractive. She was throwing it at me. I said, sure, why not? Sure, let's do this. She wanted commitment afterwards. I said no. A dozen times I said no.
But this makes me think, a man can be seduced. Like, us as men, we're very visual creatures. A woman, some women, y'all have power, and some women know they have power. So they will use that in a way where it's like, okay, I'm going to do certain things that I'm going to see how he reacts. And y'all know if y'all, like you say, you know if you've got a man. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why some of them are so easy is because y'all know certain things that y'all can do. There's certain women that will post things on Instagram for a reason. They know the amount of likes they would get. They know the type of attention.
Lord have mercy.
And it's just like, man, we will fall into that trap because we're so visual. Now, I do think that I can't speak for all men, but like I've never been the type to just have sex with a bunch of women. That's just never been my thing because
Same here.
I value it too much. And I'm like, I can't just give you this part of me because I don't know. I know it's so much that comes after that, but also too, it's just, that's a lot. That's heavy. And I can't connect with you just giving you that part of me. So I know every man don't think like that. Some men separate their feelings from it. I don't know how you do that. And I think that's another reason they kept me from it.
I've done that before, and I can say that, you know, it's not hard to do it, especially when you don't know what you're worth, you know. And I can honestly say that I've done that before because I was just like, you know what? Either I was down bad, you know what I'm saying, and wanted it that badly because like, oh my gosh, I look back at some of the women I've been with in that way, and I'm just like, if I could take it back, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I wanted it. I was craving it, and they was willing to give it. You know what I'm saying? So we made it happen. Two consenting young adults, however young we were or however old we were at the time. My mother's listening, so I'm not going to say what age. But yeah, I mean, some of us really, we don't care. And we can separate the feelings from it just because to us, it's just sex.
But do y'all not think about STDs?
Some don't.
I will say a lot of men don't.
Some men don't.
Like, that doesn't scare y'all?
They ain't thinking about that in the moment.
No, they're not.
It's like, yo, this feels great. You're beautiful. I'm getting this moment. Like, look, I think about that after.
And we've talked about like baby mamas too and baby daddies. Like we've had several examples on the show about men who have multiple baby mamas and multiple children. And it's just like in the moment, do you think that they're thinking about a pregnancy? No.
Yeah, one of my friends, my childhood friend, got a girl pregnant from a one night stand, and she kept it. He's a dad. But it's just crazy because I think men don't really think it can happen to them.
Right.
And they think, oh, well, if it happens, she'll just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Not everybody will.
That's
I don't
true.
know. I just feel like there's got to be a little bit more responsibility for the male species. Like I would think it's actually really attractive when a guy is picky.
Yeah.
And he doesn't just go for anything. That's like a turn on to me.
Yeah. I definitely feel that. I mean, it's
Same here.
It just shows more worth, and you value yourself. So that means you also value the other person. I think so.
And your discipline. Like, I don't want a guy who, let's say we do get older, get married, and we want to have a family. What if I'm pregnant and I can't have sex for the last 2 months? Are you going to go out and cheat because you're just so undisciplined? You just can't keep it in your pants? Or like, I don't know. I think it's attractive because it also just shows that they could be faithful.
I think it all goes back to we have an important job, me and you, be, as far as just like talking to these guys and like letting them know and hearing things like discipline, because some of them probably never heard of that.
That is true. Because
they get taught, yo, you get her, hey, hit her, smash her, look.
That's a lot, but we are taught growing up, especially from like uncles or not necessarily from our fathers, because my dad was never like, oh, if you meet this wrong girl, you know what I'm saying, get with her and, smash whatever. He taught me about sex, taught me to always strap up, stay protected. Try my hardest not to get a woman pregnant.
I mean, that stuff sticks with you.
So we try to keep the same, mentality, here on this show, to where it's not like we're putting the fear of God in y'all, because we're not. But we definitely want to give you an alternative to what it is that a lot of our father figures or uncles or older brothers or older cousins might have taught y'all growing up. Because, a lot of us have been through it, I'm sure, especially with friends. Peer pressure, man, that's something else. That's
just make good decisions. Make decisions that's gonna benefit you, your soul, and your future. And that might be the first night. You might just know. But like, I'm not judging. But if you know, like, this is not a good decision, just don't make it.
That's it right there.
Being on YOLO energy is not always the best.
That's what you gotta teach them.
Because fellas, y'all should not let 5+ minutes of pleasure give you 18 years of headache. And oh my gosh, I can't stand my baby mama. Well, you wasn't thinking about that when you was clapping cheeks. I'm sorry.
That is true.
Oh my goodness.
But some of these guys are so young though, and they don't even, us as men, we don't mature until like a later age, or we don't understand things until a later age. So some of them, their mental capacity is not even there yet. Yes. I can honestly say who I was when I was 22 years old, I'm not even that same person today.
That's a fact.
Completely different person. I'm still JaMichael, but mentally and like mature wise, I'm different. But I know some women though that with that age, they were already there. So it's just, it's a difference.
But we also know some women when we were that age.
I mean, of course.
They was, why?
I mean, of course. But I don't know. I don't.
I can name 2 off the top of my head right now. Right? I ain't dropping no names right now. Hey, listen, we've been through it.
Yeah.
You and I both, we've been through it.
But you have to learn too. There's a lot of things that I had to learn, honestly, by making the mistakes or going through what I went through that made me who I am. So unfortunately, some of these guys got to bump their heads. Some of them I don't want you to get put in a situation where you got a baby mom.
Please don't put yourself in that situation.
Hopefully you can learn just from some mistakes that other people have made, or some of the ones that we're telling you about.
And sometimes things are divine. Like, some kids are just meant to be in this world.
Yeah.
And things just happen. I truly believe that. Like, I think everything that happens for a reason. So I don't even necessarily consider it a mistake. But just sometimes you got to go through things so you know this is not how I want to move in the future. Or maybe it is. Maybe I liked what came out of this. But yeah, it's interesting. I think everyone should always be editing what they think is the best version of themselves and trying to achieve that.
I like that, editing. I ain't never heard that in the sense of a person before.
You know, that's one of my favorite words.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Like in the sense of a person.
That's hard.
For real.
Okay. So, man, to just, wrap this up, because I believe that we can continue to keep going all the way, but I just think about something, B. Like, I think we need to actually make this into a 2-part series right now.
A 2-parter?
Yeah, man. I think that people need this. Some free game that we've been giving out that the people need right now, man. So what you think?
I dig that. We've never done that before, but I think this is something that it might actually be pretty beneficial.
Think so?
I think so.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. So we're going to conclude this one as a part 1, but we definitely got part 2 coming for y'all. We about to hit them with like that Netflix, we ain't going to roll it out until a certain time type deal, right? Part 2 coming, all right?
I love it. I love it.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
I think this would be interesting, especially to see how people react to us doing this.
Say less. It's done. It's a done deal then. Well, Ms. Autumn, you just want to let the people know where they can find you at.
Yes, y'all can find me anywhere that I could be found at They Fall 4 Autumn. That's AUTUMN.
Okay.
Say less.
And definitely, y'all already know where to find us. We're on all streaming platforms, which is amazing. So whatever you said, I know you didn't drop any names in the beginning of the episode, but y'all know where to find us.
They know.
Also, we're on Instagram, growing, by the way. We're almost at 500 followers. So if you're not following us on Instagram, do that. All right. TikTok, we just passed 200.
Shut up. So
we're getting up there on TikTok. Twitter, still kind of about the same. We haven't really changed much on Twitter, but shout out to y'all. Or as Mike would say, the tweeters what?
They be tweeting.
So there you go. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap this one up, and we'll catch y'all in the next episode, which is going to be a great one. And we cannot leave without saying,
where you are today
is the residual outcome
of the thoughts you had in the past.
Straight like that.
Hey, mama.
Till next time.
Love you. Peace.
That part. Peace.